RJG's CoPilot software. Summary Graph, adding and removing trends. The summary graph can be accessed by double-tapping the summary graph card from the CoPilot Job Dashboard. Here, we can see the full-screen view of the summary graph. The summary graph is a visual representation of information over time. The trend information that is being graphed for our example is listed on the left and includes cycle time, fill time, hold pressure measured as hydraulic pressure, hold time, peak pressure at post gate 1, and peak pressure at post gate 2. We can add additional trend information to our example by selecting the Add button at the bottom of the screen. We can choose additional trends to graph by selecting the trend type at the left side of the screen. Most trends will be either machine or mold trends. For our example, we want to select some machine trends, so we should begin by selecting the Machine Trends button. Next, a list of variable types appear. We can select as many of the variable types as needed. When the variable is green, that means it is selected and is added to the summary graph. For our example, we want to add back pressure as plastic pressure, so we can select back pressure from the list of variables. This turns the back pressure variable black, and the quantity options of hydraulic pressure and plastic pressure appear. When a variable option is black, it means that there are more options to select before it can be added and become green. Since we want back pressure as plastic pressure, we should select plastic pressure from the quantity options. Selecting plastic pressure turns that option green, and the back pressure variable becomes outlined in green. We can also remove variables from the trend type selection by deselecting the ones that are green. For our example, if we wanted to remove cooling time, we would select that variable. And now the cooling time variable is deselected and in gray. Let's say for our example, we wanted to include effective viscosity, we would select it from the variable type list. And if we changed our mind and wanted cooling time back, we could select that too. For our example, we have decided that these are all of the variables that are needed for our summary graph trends, so we can now select Done. We are now returned to the summary graph screen, where we can see the recently added machine trends, back pressure as plastic pressure, cooling time, and effective viscosity have all been added. If we got the data we needed and wanted to remove these three trends from the summary graph, we can do so easily by first selecting the Remove button at the bottom of the page. Selecting Remove has caused an X to appear in front of the names of all of the trends currently on the summary graph. To remove effective viscosity for our example, we can select the X in front of the name, which highlights the trend name in darker gray. For our example, we also want to remove cooling time, so we will select the X in front of that name. And we would also like to remove back pressure as plastic pressure, so we will select the X in front of that name as well. With these three variable trends that we would like to remove from the summary graph selected, we can now select Apply at the bottom of the screen. After selecting Apply, those three trends, back pressure as plastic pressure, cooling time, and effective viscosity, have been removed from the summary graph for our example. Thank you for watching this video regarding RJG CoPilot software, summary graph, adding and removing trends. For further assistance, please refer to the product manual or contact our customer support department at support@rjginc.com or by calling 1-800-472-0566.